Well, another day of good news and bad news. And the good news seems to be on the Ripple side. And yes, Gary, you are on the bad side. You know it. Next. Everything is going bad for the SEC over the weekend and for the last week or so. We're going to go over John Deaton and what he had to say. And we're also going to go over Joe Biden and what did he say about crypto yesterday. Of course, it's such an important thing to talk about crypto because it is part of the G7. I've scratched it. I'm sorry. It's part of the banking failure. Oh, no. Sorry about that. It's part of the inflation. The Fed? No, I'm sorry. It's part of what Joe wants to talk about. All next on OG Crypto and NFTs. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and every single day, Monday through Friday, we go over the latest news in cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, and you got it, non-fungible tokens or NFTs. Now, before we jump into it, do me a favor. Bingo, hit that subscribe button. We're growing like a little weed that just keeps getting chemicals poured on it. So, try my best. All right. So let's listen to Joe here. Jay Biden, the crime boss head, family head right here. Let's go listen what he has to say. Now, G7, he's out in Japan. He's thinking, hey, you know, I wanna spend a couple of days on vacay, checking out the girls. And what do they call out there? Never mind, you're not even paying attention. Let's jump into Joe.
I'm not going to agree to a deal that protects wealthy tax cheats and crypto traders while putting food assistance at risk for nearly 1 million Americans. That protects.
Oh my God. What? Okay. So tax cheats. Hey, Joe, how about looking at yourself, man? We found $10 million more that popped up while you were vice president. Number two, why are you bringing in crypto traders? What, are you kidding me, bro? You are a head of a crime family. You should have, I don't even know what to say. You just handed Zelensky another $370 million while you were out there. When we're in a debt ceiling problem, you're just handing money off. You just handed them last month $40 billion. Come on, you took it out of postal workers' pension funds. You're just stealing from them. Come on. Dude, you just need to stay in the background. You can sit here all day and throw propaganda out, but the bottom line is that you have no clue what's going on. You'd rather do the propaganda thing than anything else. Let's go move on and get him out of my screen. All right, yesterday, big controversy that came out. John Deaton said he found this amongst the tens of thousands of pages from the SEC Ripple lawsuit. Now, he said he had tweeted this out just many moons earlier, but it just came back to his thought and his mind. It says, read this short, please. When you look at the SEC LIT emails cite the Ripple's opposition, they are redacted. So the redactions are right here. It says, the one about there being a reasonable grounds not to believe XRP satisfies all Howie tests is not redacted. So let's go read what this says. Right here. It says, there are reasonable grounds to conclude that XRP does not satisfy all elements of the Howie analysis and therefore is not a security for purposes of federal security laws. Oh my. Mic drop. Okay. This is SEC LIT. LIT stands for their litigation department. So the litigation department, now we're not 100% sure what this really pertains to. We think there's an email in which was given, and in that email they asked for participants, meaning outside people or even inside the SEC, about what they thought of XRP and Ripple. And here the SEC was told, this is right before the Hinman speech, that Ripple was not considered a security, and it did not meet all the Howie prongs. Now, what I really feel is kind of crazy is if you look what it continues to say. It says, and it goes over some type of lawsuit. It says, submission by MoneyGram to SEC detailed proposed accounting treatment for XRP, which did not treat XRP as a security. SEC did not object to the non-security treatment. So when MoneyGram made the deal with XRP, they went and had to get regulatory approval, CFTC as well as SEC. Right here, this person who we probably will be identified once the Hinman emails are out there and open to us, hopefully the 13th of June or after. They are telling you the reason why, first of all, they don't think it's an security. And then they say, well, the SEC already had a shot at it a year and a half, 2 years earlier to say it's a security and to actually stomp out this partnership. But they didn't. So how are they now saying that it is a security? And of course, we know that in December of 2020, they went ahead and put that lawsuit out. Now, let's go keep looking at this. Yesterday, there was a Twitter Spaces. I watched the entire thing with Eleanor Terrett, and John Deaton. And there's so much flying around about this particular document, whether it was internal SEC, was it someone from the outside, a market participant, or was it just another person talking about XRP and then referencing the MoneyGram where they didn't have a problem with it. And what John Deaton is talking about on several different fronts is that if there were people within the SEC that in the Hinman email said, hey, XRP is not a security, and Hinman came out himself and decided to change things around, meaning right before the speech, he left out XRP, even a day or two before, if the speech pops up, the emails pop up saying that XRP is not a security. Why did he leave it out? And that's where ETHgate was born. But let's go listen right now to John Deaton real quick.
How many people, Ellie, in the emails said that this speech was a bad idea? Now, that's open to interpretation. When Brett Redfern said, let's assume that's what he said. We're going to see an email from him that says, this speech, in my opinion, is going to lead to more market confusion. If there are other people in there that said that, why give the speech?
Right.
So what John's referencing here is that Eleanor, in the Hinman documents, the redacted Hinman documents, Robert Redfern was in those documents, but it's all redacted. We couldn't see what he had to say. Well, Eleanor Turret went ahead about 8-9 months ago, and she on BitBoy's channel said that she went and contacted him and said, hey, I'm from Fox News. I want to get your opinion. You're sitting here on redacted Hinman emails. So can we get what you were talking about in the emails? And of course, he said, no, I'm not going to talk on record, and I'm not going to talk period. I'm not going to say anything. So now we're referring back to him now, and what's been redacted is the things that he's saying, and we're thinking that a lot of people here in the SEC was all pro XRP not being a security, but Hinman went ahead and did his own thing. But all these people, for whatever reason, after the speech and then after the lawsuit, hasn't said a word. And in fact, they don't even want to be anywhere around it. Now, I don't know what this means or anything, but that's what John Deaton's bringing up. Nobody here wants to talk about it, but it's kind of crazy. So jump to the next one. John Deaton again. This is very important. There are several reasons why the SEC is in this position, the position they're in right now. The lawsuit was not only about enforcing U.S. security laws. If it was, the case would have been limited to specific sales by Ripple, meaning they would have picked out this sale or all the sales of Brad Garlinghouse and of Chris Larson. Instead, they said every single sale. If I were to sell one XRP right now to producer Emi, that's a security sale. But what? She's not, when I sell it to her, she's not waiting for Ripple to raise the price, right? I'm selling it to her for whatever reason, whether I'm buying the water from her or whatever. Her water jug. Okay? I'm buying something from her. So what does it have to do with a security? It doesn't. And this is what hurts the SEC. John makes several different points. Even John Grudfeld, one of the most respected former SEC commissioners alive today, called into question the motive behind the filing. Number two, Ripple assembled one of the best legal teams money can buy, a former chair of the SEC, a former director of corporate finance, a former director of enforcement, a former chief of litigation, a former chief of criminal division, and the best appellate law firm in the country. $200 million was spent for a reason. Number 3, the SEC never expected the XRP army and 75,000 people coming together. XRP army, brother. Think about these things. They had no idea what was going on. Way back in the day when Hinman, said his speech and then received $15 million from his former, which then he went back to, law firm, and then started working for an Ethereum Foundation law firm. And then all this is rolling, where at the last minute, the day before Jay Clayton is leaving the SEC, okay, he goes and drops a lawsuit on Ripple, meaning it was like I'll drop and run. He wasn't going to fight this. He never was going to fight it. And in fact, even later, we're finding out that Jay Clayton wanted us to settle with XRP or with Ripple and get over with it. But it looks like Bill Hinman said, no, let's not do it. And those payments now are coming into question. We already know that the SEC, internal SEC documents show that they've been all over Hinman for even talking to his former law firm. But he continued to do it. They warned him over and over, and then he receives payments from him, which they told him he couldn't. ETHgate is real, guys. I mean, I don't care what people say. Here it is, another John Deaton. The fact that Hinman's last day was December 4th, 2020, and he returned as a private citizen to the SEC while he was heading back to Simpson Thacher, that's the name of the law firm, a member of the EEA, which was the Ethereum Alliance, okay, which exclusively promotes Ethereum to influence the settlement discussions with Ripple, is criminal. So he went back to the SEC after voting to put Ripple and sue Ripple. He went back because Jay Clayton just said, let's just settle. He went back to Jay Clayton and said, Jay, we don't want to settle. Let it roll. Okay, let it roll. Tell me why, Bill, Mr. Hinman, XRP is a security. He's never told us what he felt was a security. We have the lawsuit that just says all of them are securities, every single sale, which is just atrociously stupid. They're not even saying that Larson or Garlinghouse sold it at fraudulently. They had fraud in the sales. They're not even saying that. There's so many lawyers that are just like, what is going on here? All you're doing is it's a delay. It's just it's bad business. It's bad government. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I know it was an XRP Ripple day, but yeah, there's just so much going on. This lawsuit now is getting national, media attention. I even saw a couple of influencers that have nothing to do with XRP, hate XRP, and they're coming out and they're talking about it, whether it be good or bad. We last week saw enormous growth and adoption of XRP and Ripple, and this week it looks like the whole litigation part is coming to light, and there's more investigations. The XRP army is the best investigator of all. We're hoping that we continue to unveil more and more things leading up to the Hinman email release. If it's not a settlement, we're going after those people that are in that email that actually hurt XRP and Ripple. And I know there's several different lawyers that are sitting there chomping at the bit for class action lawsuits against the SEC, against Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton. Guys, you take care, and I will see you tomorrow.